Hi everyone. The very first e-commerce model known to humans took place in 1948 during the Berlin blockade incident, when the US devised a system to track the thousands of tons of cargo that was airlifted to the soldiers for more than a year. This system evolved into an electronic data interchange in the 1960s, and since then has gone through numerous iterations to develop into a model of instant delivery. This model of instant delivery is known as quick commerce and has its backbone in the form of something known as dark stores. So today we will be analyzing the quick commerce business in India, the principles in place to drive the dark stores, the financial aspects which might make or break this setup, and how the major players are stacking up in this race for delivery dominance. To start off with an example, Ola had ventured in the food delivery space in the year 2015 with their Ola store and Ola Cafe, and later acquired Food Panda in the hopes of elevating the business with an infusion of $200 million. But unfortunately, both of these efforts were in vain and they had to exit the delivery space. Fast forward to 2019 and Ola revisited the delivery space with their quick commerce business Ola Dash, and this time had grand plans for it, with 500 dark stores to be set up and 2,500 stock keeping units. So the questions which need to be addressed are: why did Ola venture back into the e-commerce delivery space after the setbacks they faced earlier? And what is the dark stores model which is driving them and other e-commerce players to ramp up their operations? The first question can be answered with an example of China's Meituan, the profitable delivery giant in the e-commerce and the quick commerce space right now, which has served as the standard which all e-commerce players are vying to reach for. Meituan started with Groupon business to sell vouchers and card-linked deals, and after slowly expanding into different verticals such as movie show tickets, food delivery, hotel reservations, it also started providing software services to merchants like Zomato's Hyperpure, whilst also integrating ride-hailing and eventually turning into a super app. The most interesting aspect of Meituan's super app business is that almost 60% revenue is generated by the food and grocery delivery business, with the company serving more than 6 million merchants and 650 million plus customers in China's evolved e-commerce market. If we scale down the numbers to per customer revenue, Meituan makes $7 of revenue per customer and is now China's third largest technology company. So the question you must be pondering over here is, but how did the company manage to turn profitable? Well, as the number of transactions on their platform increased and order density also increased, and so the profitability of grouping more orders together in one trip improved, which allowed Meituan to further reduce their average delivery cost per order. And all this is because the company with such gargantuan customer base was able to collect more data to optimize their advanced routing algorithms and hence improve their delivery efficiency. And this efficiency, along with the customer base, is what all Indian e-commerce players like Zomato, Swiggy, Zepto, Dunzo and more are grasping for. And this is why Ola also ventured back into the delivery space with the hopes of cracking the code this time round. Coming on to the second question. Dark stores, in very simplistic terms, are warehouses only, though they do differ from warehouses in some aspects, which has made them a favorite of every quick commerce company these days. Let's understand this more intricately. Dark stores are those small hubs or brick and mortar stores which have been closed down due to some or the other factors and thus have been converted into smaller warehouses, seldomly managed by their own owners or local merchants for the quick commerce companies. But why do these heavily funded quick commerce companies partner with these local merchants to manage their stores for them? Well, let's try to answer this by understanding the nature and unique selling proposition these dark stores offer. Firstly, these are localized warehouses inside the city in a particular sub-district or sector, as opposed to the full-scale warehouses which are usually set up outside the city premises to gain access over huge coverage spaces. Secondly, these dark stores only keep a curated range of SKUs, that is stock keeping units, instead of the whole lineup of all SKUs and inventory like the warehouses. For example, Blinkit focuses on only 2000 high demand items in its inventory in the dark stores. Hence, these companies prefer the local merchants to manage these stores, since these local merchants are equipped with the buying patterns and specific product needs of the customers of those particular localities. This knowledge skills of the merchants developed over years of serving helps bring in insights to the business strategies in order to craft better optimized contact hubs. Most importantly, this dark store strategy enables the quick commerce companies to save on time and money spent in traveling to and from warehouses at the outskirts of the cities. So the question which arises is that when these dark stores are saving up on cost of inventories, fuel and personnel by enabling local deliveries within minutes, then why are these companies still struggling to reach profitability? The simple answer: everything depends on economies of scale. Economies of scale will affect the quick commerce business in three major ways, which can help these companies to turn profitable or at least break even within 3 to 5 years. Let's take the example of a supplier A to a quick commerce company X. When the supplier is selling goods worth rupees 100 to X, the margin he receives is rupees 20, which is 20%. Now when the business of X increases, that is, the X gets bigger cart value and more number of carts to fulfill the turnover of the products in the dark stores increases, thus creating a need to replenish the goods at a higher frequency and in larger quantities. So supplier A has to now sell rupees 1000 of goods at more rapid intervals to X. But this time X negotiates with A for more discounts. So supplier A's markup drops to 18% from 20%. At this point, he is willing to take this up on this negotiation since he knows he will be making more money in this case anyways, due to higher frequency and larger cart values which X is experiencing now. The second major way: as the economies of scale will accentuate the customer base of a firm, this will increase the frequency of the deliveries, which will further lead to fees on every single delivery. And even a marginal increase on these delivery costs will increase the bottom line multiplier of the business. Now coming to the third major way, more number of customers also means more data being collected on these customers, which in turn will enable these companies to make better AI-based models like Meituan to introduce significant opportunities in capacity utilization of their delivery agents. Coming on to the final phase of our analysis. Now we know why quick commerce is the buzzword in the market right now. But let's take a look at why are big players like Amazon and Reliance not so keen on this model. Amazon and Reliance, which have established and working models in India right now, simply believe that the dark stores model has poor economics behind its foundation. The average annual merchandise sale in India currently sits around $850 million, of which $550 million are food and grocery sales. And majority of the pie constitutes of staples and edible oil packs, which for a middle class family are usually planned purchases. The non-food products take up less than 10% of the bigger pie, of which more than half the sales are still made from the neighboring kirana stores. This explanation is made more plausible if we look at the online grocery market, which is meager $2 billion out of the $50 billion in India right now. So these big players believe that their sustainable models are always going to grasp a bigger share in the overall growing market without depending on the economies of scale principles, thus being totally nonchalant towards the quick commerce business. With quick commerce business space facing severe competition in the likes of Zomato, Swiggy, Zepto, Dunzo, Ola, Big Basket, and the horizontal and the vertical integrations flowing in like incessant rain, it is hard to tell who will eventually lead this marathon in the future. But there is no denying the fact that the final outcome will not be a semblance of the number of acquisitions being made by a quick commerce player. Rather, will be an equation of sustained vision and the wise capital management. That's all for the analysis today, folks. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'll see you all in the next video. Mindfulness signing off.